Hey everyone, it's Wingspan TT, the fourth best commentator on YouTube, and today I want to talk about a game that isn't new, but that's new to me, and that has captured my imagination in ways that really haven't been possible since the first time I watched Sesame Street. This is EVE Online, and it is actually the first subscription MMO game that I've ever really played. I've played some MMOs before, but they were kind of free to play or something like that. And I don't know exactly what it is about EVE. I've always kind of slightly been interested in, allured by the story, allured by the, I don't know, the tales of backstabbing and revenge, the intergalactic stuff, the whole idea that it's a player-driven world. And I decided to try the free trial, and it was like 3 days into it, I'm like, yes, this is it. This is the game for me. And I think if you've been a fan of my channel for a while, if you've been a fan of the games I play, if you like games that use your mind, they're about strategy and tactics, they're about the long plan, about the long troll, the long con, then EVE might be for you. And if you want to check out a link in the description for this video, I'm going to have a link that if you use that specific link, you can get a 3-week trial. It's a 21-day free trial for you to check it out. Normally the trial is like, I don't know, 10 days or 14 days or something like that. But if you use my referral link, you'll get a longer trial if you want to check it out for yourself. Now I'm going to be jumping in here, and I want to explain some things about EVE before I get too far. First of all, this is my capsulator. Yes, his name is Chance Riven, and he is a little bit of a scoundrel. Chance and I have been going around making a lot of money off of things we didn't earn. And I wouldn't say we're exactly pirates or thieves, but let's just say, hey, if you leave something in outer space, I guess you couldn't have wanted it that badly. And if you don't leave something in outer space, I guess it's always possible that, you know, I don't know, that we could just steal it. Just steal it, just take it. So basically how the game works is you make your character has background, you choose one of the races that you like to be. There's 4 different races. They're all human, but they have different backgrounds. Some of them were more warlike, more democratic, things like that. You make your guy or girl, you make all their physical attributes. And most of the time, even though I'm in the space station now walking around, you really don't spend most of your time in a space station. And by the way, everyone, if the graphics look a little wonky, that's because I'm actually playing this on 2 monitors in like 3600 by 1080. So fuck 1080p. I'm playing in like double 1080p. So if it looks off-centered or slightly warped or anything like that, and I'll zoom it out for you in the video, but for the most part, I'm not going to show it. On my second screen, I have lots of like extra menus. People always call EVE Online like Excel Online and things like that. There are definitely a lot of menus in this game, which adds to the difficulty of learning it. But if you have 2 monitors, it's great because you can kind of just throw everything on the second screen. Here, by the way, I'm going to enter ship hangar, show you my ship a little bit. This is a Galente Imicus. It is a very low-level ship. It's kind of one of the first ships you can get in the game. In fact, I'm pretty sure I got one for free. If you do a free trial and you upgrade to the full game, you'll get 2 things. One is you get a free Tier 1 ship, and 2 is you get a reduced price on a subscription fee. So I'm not even sure exactly what the normal one is, but if you upgrade from the trial, then whatever you buy immediately from there, if it's 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, it will be at a reduced price. And a Tier 1 ship, like, yes, it's a very weak ship. This thing would die in like 1 or 2 hits from a huge battleship or something. But there really are no useless ships in EVE. Maybe there's 1 or 2. But out of the hundreds of ships, and I can bring up some ships actually, it should give you an idea. You know, you can see here, this is just the Galente ships, which is my race. So over here, down here, you can see my Imicus. Where is it? Atron. No, here it is. My Imicus. It costs 430,000 ISK, estimated ISK being interstellar credits, which is the in-game cost. And then you see there's other ships up here. There's like an upgrade version, Imicus Helios, which is what I'm saving up. Not that I'm saving up for. I have the money, but I need some skills to fly it. I'll explain more of that later. It costs 21 million ISK. To give you an idea, like a lot of people have battle cruisers that they use, or battleships that they use for PvP. These things run for 170 million ISK, 180, 200 million ISK. You get the idea that these things get kind of expensive. 978. This costs a billion ISK. And then when you start getting to the super carriers, which of course there's no way a single person is really going to be able to save up for this. We're talking about things that are starting to cost like, it doesn't even have an estimated price. It's just in trillions and trillions of ISK. It's going to take thousands of players playing together to accomplish that. And you can see there's different ships for all the different factions. I have my eye on a couple of them, but whatever. You get the idea. So anyway, you have your ship, and your ship is where you spend most of the time in the game. Now right now I'm still docked in a station, I'm in a space station, so I'm kind of safe right here. And that's the other thing with Eve, is that what's part of what's interesting about it is, yes, you're in a space station. Hold on, let me just bring up the map for a second to give you guys, this is the solar system map, so you just kind of do the solar system. It's really boring. There's really nothing there you got to worry about. But this is like the fucking star map. So you can see, like, you're here, here's a solar system, okay? And then it's kind of like, okay, every single one of these dots is a solar system. And there are a lot of goddamn solar systems. I believe there's like 5,000. And there's additional solar systems that are not on this map, that are in wormhole or uncharted space. So there is a lot of space in Eve. This game is absolutely huge, and that's part of the allure of it. You could just go anywhere. And even like when you first start this game, there are no restrictions in Eve. Like, you can get in your first fucking spaceship and just fly out and just go wherever you want. Like, there's nothing stopping you from doing that. I'm just gonna show you what the hell's in here. And I've actually outfitted my ship, my Imicus, specifically for exploration, because, you know, the combat, space combat, okay, it's cool and all. I have some drones and stuff like that for space combat. But I really wanted something that was going to give me some opportunities to see cool stuff early on. Let me just zoom out a little bit here. You can't really see anything when you're this close to the ship. You can see here the behind me, the space station I undocked from. It's gigantic. And it's really, to get a sense of scale, like, you can't even see my ship anymore. You can zoom out this far that the space station looks like, here's my ship. Okay, now it's huge. Now my ship's a dot. Now the space station's a dot. Now here's a planet. Like, oh, you want to see this planet look like a dot? Alright, that's cool, man. Let's warp to a fucking Stargate. So, I'm going to align the Stargate, jump into a warp bubble. My engine's here just taking a second to warm up. And of course, depending on the engines, we're just going to go through that. We're going to go through the planet. We're going to go past the star. Like, oh, look, there goes a star. It's just a star. I'm going the other way over here. And there comes another planet. Look at that. Holy shit, this is gorgeous. One thing is, Eve has been out for years, but CCP, the company that makes Eve, has been updating the graphics all this time. So every couple of years they update the graphics, so they still look really good. The graphics still look good, even though the game is now fairly old. Anyway, what I was saying about space was, one thing about Eve is PvP is always on. There's no such thing as a non-PvP area. There's literally nothing stopping me from the next ship I see locking onto it and attempting to blow it to smithereens. Now, of course, that person could run. They could shoot me back. You know, they can just try to stall me or jam my systems or something like that, so I can't kill them. And of course, my ship is very weak. It's an exploration ship, so it really, look at that lighting. That's gorgeous. It really cannot kill anyone easily. But, so here's the thing. We have security status up here. So this system counts as high security. It's a 0.5 system. 0.5 to 1.0 is high security. That means that if you attack someone, sure, you can attack them. Maybe if you attack them really fast, you'll get them. But then what happens is there's some people like over here that are the space cops. And space cops fly around. And if someone does something naughty, they come in and slap them with fucking cruise missiles. Now that's high security space. So what that means is it's just like real life. Like in real life, you could just go up to someone and murder them or do something terrible to them. There's literally nothing stopping you other than just being a goddamn good human being, or, you know, possibly having handcuffs on or something like that. And just like that in Eve, you can do something terrible, but there's going to be consequences. People around you are going to see what you do, so you're going to lose standing with other players, and the cops are going to be like, hey, wait a second, you can't do that. They're going to chase you down. They're going to attempt to kill you. Again, you can still escape, but they're going to be looking for you if you keep doing stuff like this. They're going to put you on their wanted list. I'm just flying around outer space while I explain some stuff for a second here. And I got some cool stuff. I got a cloak, so I can just fucking hide. Like, oh, people are looking for me. Like, no, my ship's invisible. And you're completely invisible. Like, you cannot be found unless someone physically bumps you. And as you can tell by the size of space, someone physically bumping you is not really going to happen particularly often, especially if you're trying to avoid it. Anyway, what was I saying? So that's high security space. It's where space cops come and come after people. The low security space would be like 0.1 to 0.4, and what that means is that if you kill someone, if you do something bad, you'll still be put on the naughty list by the cops, but there's no cops actually patrolling around looking for stuff like this. Like, they're not going to come to rescue. Like, someone's going to phone in and be like, hey, so-and-so did this. And if you run into, like, police turrets, you'll get in trouble. You won't be able to do things like use warp gates. So if you want to leave the solar system, you won't be able to do that for quite some time. So you won't be able to really run very far. You'll have to go hide and wait it out, kind of like GTA mode, although you can't just paint your ship and get away from that. Then, hold on, I'm just going to be launching some probes shortly. core scanner probes. And then there's nullsec. Nullsec 0sec space is 0.0 or lower, and yes, it goes down to like -1. This is space that there are no cops, or possibly that the local space is actually ruled by pirates or some kind of faction like that. So what that means is that if you could just totally murder people, you could do whatever you want. There's nothing stopping you from murdering anyone. And just to show you kind of what I'm doing, no, I guess there's nothing here for me. I guess the next system is probably safe. Fuck it, I don't care. I'm just gonna go next system. I don't care if it's safe or not. Maybe you guys are gonna watch me die. So speaking of Death and Eve, what happens when you kill people? If you blow up someone's ship, if your ship gets blown up, you lose your ship, which obviously costs a lot of money. Even the cheap ones cost like at least $1 million just to refit. And you lose every single thing that's in your cargo hold. Now, right now, I have nothing in my cargo hold. You lose all the things that are attached to your ship. All of it gets dropped into space, and whoever killed you, the local people, could just steal it. They could completely steal all of it. We're jumping through space. This actually looks kind of cool here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And my engine has to come to a stop. Let's do it! Scotty, engage! I guess Scotty does engage. Riker, engage! And we're warping in to a 0.6 system, so slightly higher security. Just means there's more space cops around. Actually, what am I looking here for? Cosmic signatures. Nothing here. Alright, we'll go next system. Anyway. So if you get, and you just see here, it says 20 astronomical units, which if you don't know is a really, really far. It is not close at all. It's like hundreds of thousands of kilometers. So you need to use your warp drive to get there. You can't just fly there. So your ship goes blown up, fine. Your escape pod gets let out. And your ship, maybe if you have insurance on your ship, it'll cover some of the cost of it. Or if you bought some special insurance. Or if you're in a nice corporation, they have a ship replacement program. That's great. So your escape pod comes out. And it's like, okay, now you can kind of escape. If you don't escape, though, if someone decides to kill your escape pod, it's called getting podded, what happens is that your character dies, and you're going to respawn the last place you built a clone. So basically, you kind of have to back yourself up the same way you back up your files on your computer, which I know all of my listeners do because they're so smart. They back up their files on a regular basis. I have no clue where I'm going. I'm just jumping around. I'm trying to look for something interesting. There's billboards here for wanted people. This person's got quite the bounty on their head. If your pod gets destroyed and you do not have a clone or a recent clone, let's say you have a character that's like 5 months old and your recent clone is from like 3 months ago, you are going to be in trouble. You're going to be losing a lot of skill points, and you're going to be set back a lot of your progress. So it's very hardcore. If you want to not get screwed from getting killed, you need to spend the money to get good clones and upgrade your clones and make sure, you know, they're kind of up to date, essentially, that they're fresh clones, fresh meat. So we're in a 0.5 system, and let me just show you real quick kind of what I'm doing in this game. So some people have combat ships. They look around for missions, and they can either help NPCs out, help their corporation out. They can fight. They can find pirates. They could be a pirate. They go around, kill other people, and steal all their stuff. Actually, let me disable some of these things. Yes, put my module offline, just because some modules use different amounts of power. So I'm just going to have to do this. And what I've just done is I've launched scanner probes, okay? And we're going to go into the local star system. And because I have an exploration ship, essentially, and I have scanner probes, I can look for things that seem weird in outer space. And I can kind of investigate them. And then once I find out what they are, I can decide what I want to do. So there's a couple different sites. There's combat sites that you can look for, which are just going to be full of like NPCs or things like that that you can kind of kill for extra money and bounty. There are data and relic sites, which are these things you have to hack in order to steal stuff from them. There are gas sites, which this is a combat site, so I'm going to ignore that. And you guys can't, again, I have 2 monitors up, so I put a lot of the like really boring giant screens of data and information on the other side. And I'm just trying to zoom in on this. This really makes me feel like something out of Star Trek, like, oh, do scanner sweep, and you do triangulation on all these things. And again, this is just one thing I do. You don't have to play this way. This is why I personally enjoy. I like the thrill of hunting down this stuff in outer space. I like the idea of trying to find things that you're not supposed to find. And especially what I typically, even though I'm kind of in high sec now, typically what I do is I go and look for this stuff in low sec or in null sec, which basically means that there are people out there specifically trying to find me and kill me because they know my cargo hold will be full of cool stuff that I've scooped out from outer space. And some of the there's been so many insane things that have happened to me since I started playing this game. I had people, oh, this is a wormhole, huh? All right, let's see what that goes. And a wormhole basically is exactly what it sounds like. It's a wormhole. It cuts through space to somewhere else random in space. You can check it out and see where it goes. So we're going to see where this wormhole goes. I'm not going to promise I'm going to go through it. I want to see what it says first. So that's basically what I got into, exploration. And exploration has allowed me to get into very deep space very early in the game. A lot of times... I'm just going to go investigate this wormhole real quick. I'm locking onto it. A lot of times if you're in like combat, well, if your combat ship's very weak, you can't go into dangerous space because people just blow you out of the water. But if you have an exploration ship and you've got a cloak and things like that, it is not an issue to sneak into dangerous space. You can get in, people won't really know you're there, your ship's really fast, and you can get out with lots and lots of money. And to give you an idea of how much money you can make exploration, uh-oh, this guy's checking out the wormhole too. To give you an idea, like when I started playing this game, it was very typical to have like, oh, I have 100,000 ISK, I have 50,000 ISK, my ship costs 500,000 ISK. Like, I made 100 million ISK in one exploration run, which again, I know if you've been playing EVE a long time, is not impressive, but for me it's impressive because again, it's literally 1,000 times more than I was taking. So we have a wormhole here, and I'm going to just check out what it does. Let's see what it does. Unstable wormhole, okay, so it'll collapse after a certain amount of time. Wormhole leads to unknown parts of space. It's beginning to decay. It's falling apart, and people have gone through it. So this would be very. It would probably be stupid to go into. Like it would just be dumb to go into that wormhole. So let's not go. When I get a cool wormhole, I'll definitely show you guys. And I have some actual footage, if you guys want to see it, where Zion from Top Tier Tactics and I went into quite the dangerous wormhole, and we decided we were going to try to kill some people. And I won't tell you exactly what happens, but let's just say, that everything didn't go exactly to plan. And that's part of what I love about EVE. There are times I've been playing this game where I accidentally attacked a guy. I attacked a guy in a massive ship. I thought he was an NPC. He was not happy with that. I attempted to run away. He fucking scrambled my warp drive so I couldn't escape. And then he killed me, of course, and I was like, listen, I'm an idiot. I feel really bad because I attacked you. You had to believe me. I didn't mean to attack you. He's like, oh, yeah, man, don't worry about it. Mistakes happen. He mailed me 11 million ISK, which was literally 20 times the value of my ship. Oh, no. Autopilot should not be initiated. Come back to my ship for a second. Just doing some quick scans. Okay. Yeah, and I'm not going to be pull off any of these combat sites. You know what? Whatever. Fuck it. I'll just go in the wormhole. Gonna go in the wormhole. If I die, it's your guys' fault, alright? I'm doing it for you. Anyway, everyone, this is just my first video about EVE. I know this is really basic, but I want to give people an idea that this game is anything you want it to be. There's nothing stopping you from doing whatever you want. The universe is yours. It's a player-driven economy. There's very few NPCs in this game. Everything you buy is off of other players. There's massive battles going on all the time. And hey, if you don't feel like buying things, you can always steal things. I'm going to use my micro warp drive here and hit it up to 2.5 kilometers a second. Not bad. Closing the gap really fast. The other thing about EVE that I think that I personally... Oh, see, look at this. Everyone's going... See, I'm not going to go through this wormhole. It's retarded now. See, this guy's going through the wormhole. So what that means is wormholes are always like negative space. So if I go through that wormhole, what's going to happen is... like, there are literally no laws on the other side of the wormhole. The second I get there, that guy's going to be able to shoot me down, which would be really stupid. It'd be really stupid. The last thing I guess I want to talk about real quick before I end this video, because I don't want to do everything at once. By the way, this is my ship's fitting, by the way. So here's the ship. You can choose what modules you have. You can use weapons or various tools. You can add rigs to them. And I'll go into more details later. Other kinds of tools, analysis tools, warp drives, blah, 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 extra processing power, and drones and all that crap. The one other thing that I really like about EVE that I want to show... Hold on, let me just open this real quick. I got to pull it over from my other monitor. Here we go. Is the skill system, alright? And what's great about the skill system in EVE is that it's very intuitive, it's very straightforward. There are no levels in EVE. You earn skill points. You don't earn skill points whenever you can train skills whenever you want, and your skills automatically train whether you're playing or not. Now some people are like, oh well, the game plays itself. It doesn't play itself. You still have to plan out exactly what you want, but you'll see like, alright, drone navigation, this skill makes my drones faster. It will take 3 hours to train it. I can be in the game or out of the game, it'll take the same amount no matter what. But you can see other skills like this skill I'm training here, Galente Frigate 3, literally takes 8 days to train. But once I get it to level 5, it's going to be extremely powerful. My ship is going to have extremely powerful sensors, and all other Galente frigates that I use going forward are going to have really strong sensors and hacking abilities. So really what this comes down to is a lot of planning. Like yes, in the time that I could train an 8-day skill, I could literally learn probably 50 other level 1 skills. And it comes down to what you want to do. So maybe this is something that you don't feel like you don't want to spend 11 days training a skill. I will tell you that the difference between level 4 and level 5 is only about 7%. So it's like, do you really care about 7%? It's up to you. I personally care. But what I'm trying to say is it's freeing. It doesn't feel like you have to grind. You can kind of take the game at your own pace. You can do what you want. If you want to like speed up your skills, you can increase your tributes and get some implants and things like that. They're very expensive, and you just kind of plan your skill training to go faster. But it's just very tactical. It's very strategic. You plan things out for the long run. It's not like a Twitch game. It's not like a space shooter game. I mean, there's certainly that aspect to it. If you're playing more of a combat role, and I'll show you some of that stuff in another video, you can certainly shoot people out of the sky and steal all their stuff and hold them hostage and pod kill them. But you can kind of do what you want. If you want to just run businesses and just make money off trading stocks and things like that, you can do that. If you want to mine ore and like find hidden deposits of gold and space gold or whatever the hell it is, diamonds, you can go do that. If you want to run things for mission, if you want to be like a fucking Han Solo and run illegal stuff around around the galaxy for other people, and run through blockades with your fucking Millennium Falcon, you can do that. Yes, you can name your ship Millennium Falcon if you're that lame. You can do whatever you want, and that's what I love. I love the freedom of Eve. So everyone on Wingspan TT from TopTierTactics.com, I hope this gave you a little bit of taste of Eve Online and some of my excitement for it. Like I said, I'm going to put the link for the trial if you want to try it in the description of the video. Again, it's 3 weeks. You can play absolutely free. You do not need a credit card to sign up, but I encourage you, if this sounds like something you could be even remotely interested in, to check it out and give the game a shot. I think there's something out there for everyone, and yes, it's a little bit of a hard game to get into, but it is absolutely worth it. I was hooked 4 days in, and I know a lot of my viewers will be too. Well, everyone, I hope to see you in New Eden, and until then, cheers.
Earth, the origin of our ancestors. A century had passed since they discovered the Eve Gate, a wormhole, passage to a remote corner of the universe. New Eden. It was the largest colonization effort in the history of man. The mass settlement of hundreds of strange new worlds. We thought nothing could stop us. After the Eve Gate collapsed, countless colonies perished. The scattered survivors forgot the old world. Fragments of mankind, light years apart, lost contact. Thousands of dark years passed until humanity rose again to be with the stars. In different corners of New Eden, great empires had evolved. 4 different faces of humanity. When they clashed, the wars were merciless. Out of the years of conflict, a new kind of human emerged. One capable of immortal life. To transform into this rare breed, we pay the ultimate price. At the moment of death, our mind is transferred to a fresh clone. We have become immortal. In the sky, we reach farther. On the ground, we strike harder. The empires are losing their grasp on power. And as our age begins to dawn, they will learn to fear us.